So now we're going to kind of talk about some of the changes in this build. So of course we do have centered, title bars now on some of them. Like things like the Windows Explorer are not changed yet. But if we go to like Internet Explorer, which we do have a Internet Explorer 9 beta, that's what this is right here. If I can show you when that starts up. Or maybe not. Maybe nothing is going to be a centered title bar. Let's just do WinVer. Okay, actually, yeah, you can see here run. This has a centered title bar. We can go WinVer. Same thing about Windows. Internet Explorer's crash. That's great. Probably because it's a beta. But we can see here that yeah, we got version 6.1. It does have the same kind of warning it does here, and you see that we do have the expiration date. So. Yeah, apparently Internet Explorer's crashed, so that's kind of not a surprise. We'll just close that. But yeah, that's the Internet Explorer 9 beta. We also do have this is called a non-disclosure agreement. That's what this is. We have that kind of on the desktop permanently. We also have this new background. And kind of the main thing is this whole new feature down here. This is kind of Microsoft starting to move towards a touch-friendly interface. Is like we kind of have like this new profile switcher, and if we go into My Settings, it brings up like the standard thing for your user account in Control Panel. And we have My Look, which brings up a new thing where you can change your look, which I don't think it was called that before, but like if we change it to this picture, then it'll change down here. This was not obviously brought into Windows. It was actually, if you want to say that it was on Windows, we can say that it was, if I can, let me Alt-Tab out of here. You can say that up here, kind of, this area, kind of, with the, where you can change your account picture and things like that. This is kind of the final version, I guess you could say, of this down here. But it started out like this. And we have the same options for switching users, logging off, and locking the PC. So if we just do that, they do work, and we can lock the PC. And we do have a few new things which we can actually access without doing a few registry tweaks. So the first thing that I want to talk about quickly, or not quickly, I guess you could say, is the auto colorization of window borders according to the background. Now this was kind of in, I guess, still in mid-development. So to actually enable this feature, we have to go into C Windows Resources Themes. We have to copy the arrow.theme to the desktop, I believe. And we'll just do this a rename. So just press F2. We'll call this arrow underscore. Actually, I think we have to call it Arrow Auto. Arrow Auto. I'm kind of getting all these from a site right now, and then we have to edit it with Notepad. So we're going to go into its program files. Actually, it's in C Windows Notepad.exe. We're going to open it with Notepad, and we want to change. We actually have to add a line called Auto Colorization 1 to the end of the Visual Style section. So right here, if we enable that, we save this, close out of it. We're going to copy it back to Resources Themes. We're going to go back in that same folder, Windows Resources Themes. We're going to copy it back. Then we're going to personalize. Where's the themes thing? Installed. Here we go. This right here. So now it has a thing called auto color, where it will auto change. And I don't think this was ever, final. Maybe it was, but it does look different here. It's going to adjust the window border depending on which, or what the background is. So if I kind of, I guess, change the wallpaper, maybe, let's say we want to change the wallpaper to this. You'll see that it auto changes the window border without me having to do anything, which is kind of nice. I actually think this was in Windows 8, but I have it turned off on my system. because it gets kind of annoying every time that the background changes, it like auto picks a background. But yeah, so that was one of the major things. This was the first build that I know of to have this feature. And yeah, it is looking like this is going to be a long video, so I'm probably going to put down, or I'm probably going to call this a tutorial and a tour, maybe split up the video, I'm not really sure, but the next kind of major thing is a new reader for .pdf files. This is probably going to be a precursor to the current Windows 8 PDF reader app that is kind of annoyingly auto-enabled to where when you open up any PDF file, it opens up a whole nother modern UI app. But this is probably going to be like the precursor for that. So we'll call this pdf.reg, and we're going to go in here. We're going to copy this line of code right here, and I'll have all this down below if you guys want to do this yourself, or I might just link the site that I'm using to do all of this. But what we have to do is go, let's see here. So we're going to save this pdf.reg all files, however, so it's actually saves it as a registry. I guess it didn't save it as a registry file. Did it not save it as, okay, well, pdf1.reg. There we go, that's what we want. So we'll don't save, get rid of that, we'll run this. Okay, so now I'm going to press Control Shift F9 to disable arrow, and this is going to not make the thing crash. And we're going to go into C, Windows, System 32, GLCND, this thing right here. Going to run it, and here it is. This is it. Not really anything exciting. Maybe if I download a PDF file, maybe we'll see it. Let me actually find one right here. Alright, so I copied over a random PDF file that I found on my computer. We're going to see if we open this. We're going to open it with the same program, so open it with that. Okay, so this is what it looks like. This is the YouTube Creator Playbook, and honestly the most basic PDF reader that I think I've ever seen. It's got, basic, like you can drag the pages down. There's no like options for hovering and stuff. Like you can't even right click. But of course this was in beta, and this is what would eventually become the current Windows 8 reader app that takes up the whole screen. And it's not like it doesn't run on the desktop, but it is cool that it does work with actual PDF files. So yeah, that is pretty nice. So the only thing is when you have a PDF file, it looks like it's like an actual exe, and when you run it, it just opens up in this program. That's of course if you have that enabled. The next thing on the list here is a modern Windows Task Manager, which I'm actually kind of interested to see. So this is what the normal Task Manager looks like. Again, exactly the same as it's since Windows 2000. Not that many changes. Same interface, looks kind of the same. However, we're going to run a different reg script. So I'm just going to open up Notepad so we don't have to save two files. And we're going to run this. Again, all these are going to be down below. And I've kind of decided I'm probably going to make this into a separate video. It'll probably be easier. So we'll call this task.reg. We'll save. We have task.reg, so we're going to run this. We're going to add the information, and it's been successfully added. So now we got to go back into, I believe it's in System 32. We're going to run task UI, wherever that is, right here. We're going to run this, and it looks kind of the same. Okay, so as you just saw, the new Task Manager wasn't really working, so I had to do another take, and the reason why it wasn't working is, for some reason, VMware decided something to be stupid and not copy the text I had on my clipboard from the host to the VM. So I actually just had to copy the whole HTML file that I'm viewing here, and we're going to try this again. So We're gonna go edit the task thing. As you can see that I actually move on to the next thing, which is the ribbon UI. But we're gonna move on to the task thing, and we're gonna retry this, and hopefully it'll work. So we have to use this code instead of the one that I was using, which was basically, it was the same one as the PDF. It just wasn't copying the new code. So we're gonna save this, and we're going to run the code. So we're going to run task.reg, and we're going to add it into the registry. And then we have to go into, as it says here, see Windows System 32 and view task UI. So we're going to do that, not program files. See Windows System 32, we're going to view task UI, which I believe is down here a bit, right here. So when we run this, here we go. This is the new Windows Task Manager that I was talking about. As you can see, it looks kind of similar to the Windows 8 one. I mean, not, really, it kind of has that, feel to it, like it's starting to become a new Windows 8, application. If you're not familiar with the Windows 8 one, this is what that looks like. And you can see that, yeah, it kind of looks a little bit different. If you don't have it expand like this, it looks kind of like the Windows 98 Task Manager, but I always have it like this so I can see, like full detailed stuff. And this is probably one of the things that I really love about Windows 8 is they have this really nice task manager now, and you can just see like a bird's eye view of everything. It kind of reminds me of the Process Explorer project, which I believe that Microsoft bought out. But anyway, so this kind of has that feel to it. We do have the currently running programs. We can view Windows system critical processes here, which show, and they actually show like the status of them if they're idle or running. We have the background programs, which is going to be a lot. Apparently most of them are idle. And then we have all of our currently running applications. I guess it just all says that it's idle because I'm viewing this window actively, and it just says it's idle still. But it also does say that the window, if it's responding or not. Now usually you don't see the text responding, you just see it when it says not responding. Well, this time it actually just says if it's working properly or not. And the only kind of, I guess, ugly kind of thing is they just kind of took like the same Windows 7 taskbar and just put it up here, and yeah, you can click and run a new task, which is, I mean, I guess it's okay, but of course this was, like still in beta. This is a Milestone 1 build, by the way. As you can see, we have some code right there, as they haven't, properly labeled that yet. So when you do that, it kind of doesn't do anything, I guess. And then we can do the help thing, which actually doesn't work. And actually I have in here, search will be functional after Milestone 2. So the search doesn't work. I don't think the help thing works at all in this build, according to this document on here. So yeah, that's the new task manager. I think we can still get to the old one. Yeah, we can still get to the old one here by pressing Control-Shift-Escape. And you can see how this kind of looks. As I mentioned in the previous take, I guess you could say this looks, if I'm even going to have that take in here, I don't even know. I might edit that out. But this task manager, from Windows 2000, maybe even before then, up to Windows 7, the task manager hasn't really changed that much. It looks exactly the same. They changed a few things, like they obviously have, like, you can have more CPUs and things like that, but the overall design has been the same since Windows 2000. It was Windows 8 when they first decided to go and say, hey, we're going to change this, we're going to overhaul it and make it better, which I really think they did a good job on the final version of that. So that is it's just called the modern Windows Task Manager at this point, but you can access both of them at the same time, which is kind of funny. So we're just going to close out of that. And the next thing is the ribbon UI, which I was also trying to do but didn't work because I was using the wrong code. But we're just going to copy this here. And the ribbon UI is probably one of the most controversial things that Windows 8 introduced. If you're not familiar with what it is, if you've ever used Microsoft Office, 2007 I believe was the first version that introduced it. It was, like where they have like different tabs and things like that. And they said, well, hey, why don't we bring that to the Windows Explorer, because that would be kind of cool. And I actually think that it is, really cool, because the current, like the Windows 7 Windows Explorer doesn't really have that many options up here. You have like things, you can organize, cut, copy, and paste if you don't know what the keyboard shortcuts are. You can open, the folder if you don't want to double click. You can, add it to your library. You have share options, and you can make a new folder, and you have your view options over here. That's really about it. But with the ribbon, they wanted to, kind of add like a bunch of different commands and features in there. But it kind of made this a little bit larger, which is the thing that people didn't really like. And there is a way in the final build of Windows 8, they said, well, you can kind of like have it collapse, which I guess people kind of, were fine with. But so we have to make sure all the Windows Explorers are closed. We're gonna run the ribbon.reg script, add it to the registry. Now when we open Windows Explorer, there we go. We have the nice, really cool ribbon, and it has, you can see they haven't really finished any of the icons yet for any of these. So that it's just like an orange circle with a white dot in the middle. I guess that's just they haven't finished the icons, and it's like a placeholder icon, until the next build. But the functionality is pretty much the same. I think they added a bit more in Windows 8. Just for comparison, actually, let's go to this PC. This is what the ribbon looks like on Windows 8. They obviously have the icons now, and it's more flat. But yeah, that's what. And if we go to this view thing, I can show you. Let me get the thing back up. Yeah, you can see we have a lot of more options in Windows 8 than we do in the Milestone 1 build of Windows 8. But this is kind of what this became. And you can, here that like you have this button, so if you don't really like the ribbon, you can just minimize it, and it's kind of like the Windows 7 one. But I personally don't mind the ribbon. I think that's really nice, and I kind of like having it here. So, but that's what it looked like. And I think this build was in 2010. That's how this looked like. And yeah, you can see we still have, like, it's not all flat yet. It still looks kind of like Windows 7. Of course, there's still error, which I guess is kind of why that was here. But this is sort of the precursor to the modern Arrow that's in Windows 8. Or sorry, not Arrow, the Ribbon UI. We have the same launch options here, again with no icons. Actually, some of these don't even work. I guess open new window and stuff don't even work. Yeah, you can view folder options and things like that. But that's basically the Ribbon UI. And the last kind of major thing is the webcam capture application. Something that I guess they were developing at the time. Windows 8 does have something similar to this. I don't think it's called webcam capture. I think it's called like video or something. I'm actually going to... I have to go into Notepad, make a new document. Because then I save myself making 2 copies. Save this as web.reg, and we'll change this to all files. So there we go. And we have to run this file. So we're going to open this. We will run that. Click yes. And okay. So there we go. Now we're going to go into, it says it's in C Windows System 32. So we'll go into C Windows System 32, and it's called Webcam. And here we go. It looks kind of very basic. Apparently, it's using JavaScript. As you see, we have a little JavaScript thing there, which won't go away. But obviously, it's not going to work because there's no webcams plugged in. But we have. Actually, I wonder what happens if I don't think I can install a driver for the webcam. Let me see if I can do that. So sadly, I don't think we're going to be able to see how it would work with an actual webcam, but this is kind of how it looks, and you can see that it is kind of touch customized. We do have this, I'm guessing, is to start a new video recording. This is probably to take a picture, and this is probably to take a picture with a time limit. Like if you wanted to get like a bunch of people in front of the webcam, you get time to do that or whatever. We have settings here, which I guess doesn't do anything, and view saved captures, which opens up. It's for some reason in the my pictures, I guess, because it's pictures, but I guess the videos will be saved here too. So that is what that is, and I guess that is really all of the major things that have been that have changed in this build. If I can figure out how to get out of this, I guess we use Alt Tab. Yeah. Let's close out of that. So that's kind of pretty much all the major things. This is an hour-long recording right now, so I'm probably going to split this up into a tutorial video and then a separate video for all the features that I just talked about. So I guess that's pretty much all there is to say, and that pretty much just wraps it up for this video. So I just like to thank you guys for watching, and I thank you to the 2 people that suggested this video, and maybe more comments that I haven't read that suggested it. But you know who you are, so I thank you guys out there for suggesting it. Of course, if you have any suggestions that are interesting, because I've like gotten people saying do Windows XP, but I've kind of done Server 2003 already, so it's kind of pointless for me to do XP when Server 2003 is kind of similar. But if you have something that's like kind of what I haven't really done before, I would be perfectly fine doing something like that. I actually got a request recently to see how Windows Me functions in 2015, which I think I'm going to make into a video. So definitely be looking out for that. Really, guys, just all I have to say is just thank you for watching, and thank you for continuing to support the channel. If this helped you, definitely be sure to like and subscribe. And as always, I will see you guys in the next video.